Test. Can you hear me? Can I get a 1 2? All right, someone answered. We got a 1 2. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Red Seat Radio live stream. We got a pretty fun one today. Does my camera? Yeah. Wait, that way. That look good? Looks good to me. What's going on, everybody? Who do we got in here tonight? We got SYX. We got Chris. I was trying to figure out if that meant something else, but I don't know. Chris, Exist, Trendy, Salty, how are you? Curran, how are you? Big Dave, Trevor, what's going on? Murakami or Okamoto to Boston? If it's going to be either, I'm going Okamoto. Okamoto? I don't know. What's up, Cody? Snowman, how you doing? I had chat. I always do this. I always right before stream, I think of a legitimate like, oh, this is what I need to talk about when I first get on stream. And then I get on stream and I just can't remember what it is. And it happens every single time. It has nothing to do Red Sox related. I think I was going to ask about coconut water. I really can't remember. My memory's getting so bad. Boston will be hot 2026. I know that. I like it. Time is now. I like it. I think they're going to be a good team in 26. I think regardless of what they do this offseason. Talk to us about coconut water. I'd love to hear it. No. Now I've like built it up too much. It really wasn't a big thing. It was literally just me. My camera's off. Check. You guys see me? Chat. Yes, we see you. I see you. Camera is on. Steven and Exist. Try turning it off or just refreshing the page. Try that. Keep the stash. Part of me really wants to keep the stash, dude. I enjoy being a mustache guy. It's not a good mustache either, but I enjoy it. In all fairness, it's only been 12 days. We'll see what it looks like by the end of the month. You know what I mean? Maybe by a month, we'll sit here and be like, you know what? Not a bad stash. Not a bad stash. From Mexico. Thanks for watching, Kings. Appreciate you being here. We're going to win Cy Young today. It is going to pretty much unanimously be Tariq Skubal. But, I mean, in all fairness, he'll probably come in second. Nick Anderson just signed a deal with the Athletics, chat. Whoop, whoop. $1 million deal. It's lopsided. My mustache is lopsided. Yeah, well, I haven't had much. You know what I mean? I haven't had much. Grow it out. I've been growing out my beard for like 3 months. It's definitely getting better. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. If I just keep going, you know, maybe eventually it'll look good. A's are winning it all with that deal. Season's over. Yeah, we got ourselves a little look. Breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure. Got ourselves Nick Anderson. Dude, when was the last time? Was Nick Anderson in the big leagues last year? There's no way. Or maybe he was with I remember him with the Angels, I think it was. Was it the Angels? No, it was the Rays I remember him from. Man, not a lot of time in the big leagues, huh? Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. Not a lot of time in the big leagues, huh? Anyways, as it pertains to Red Sox news, we actually have a lot to cover today. A lot of I mean, at this point in the offseason, this is what it is, right? It's either like the Kyle Schwarber thing today, in my opinion, was the first real like smoke we've gotten about the Red Sox offseason this year. Where I mean, literally everyone and their mother is saying, brother, the Red Sox want Kyle Schwarber, right? They want to at least pursue Kyle Schwarber. And then we had Robert Murray saying his biggest takeaway from the entirety of the GM meetings was the Red Sox and their love of Kyle Schwarber. I think that was pretty big news. Outside of that, a lot of what we're going to be seeing for like the first month of this offseason is going to be this smoke stuff, right? Where it's going to be this sort of like, well, all right, let's just dive into it a little bit. Where do you guys want to start? Do we want to start with Alex Bregman and the latest on him? Because to be honest with you, it was just like the stuff today was just unbelievably ridiculously hilarious. Yeah, it's the Scott Boras stuff, so we're going to go over that in a second. We'll do that today. We'll go over that. And then we did want to talk about like who the latest the Red Sox have been connected to. I also did want to, we are going to talk about the outfield once again. Crochet, the Cy Young winner. Can I pull that up, actually? I'm going to get DMAC'd if I pull that up, huh? Yeah, I will. Start with Bregman. All right, let's start there. Let me actually hide my screen for a second so you guys don't see my entirety of my Twitter. I don't know what I've bookmarked here. Nothing weird or anything. Okay. Let's start with Bregman, shall we? And I'm just gonna play the clip. So this is from Rob Bradford. Rob Bradford at the winter meetings. You guys should be able to hear this along with me.
I would certainly think that, you know.
Hold on. I'm putting on headphones so you don't hear it twice. If you haven't heard it yet, it's just so ridiculous. Ready?
Like in Boston, you know, we learned a lot about Bregman in 25 because in Boston, prior to 25, they had a lot of lineup do not holes. And
can we pause for a second? I understand he's got this whole theme here. I want you to pay attention to the theme he's got going on here. Okay? Starts with do not holes, which is a terrible analogy, by the way. He's clearly trying to say donut holes, but let's just keep going here.
Certainly, prior to 25, Boston has been a kind of a club that's been...
I'm going to pause this a lot, chat. I'm going to pause it a lot because this was either going to be a video or we were going to talk about it on the live stream. I'm doing a video, or I'm doing the live stream because the video for this would be absolutely ridiculous. Why does this dude constantly have a runny nose? What is he up to? My guy always has, it's not even like tissues or anything. It's a wad of paper towels. Look at this. This is a wad of paper towels.
A kind of a club that's been
like he always has that. Why? I'm sorry.
Has Duncan well below the playoff line. So I think it was a bad roast in Beantown. And certainly, and give the owners credit in 25. You know, they went out and spent some...
Hey, well, we're not making fun of big noses on this channel. Listen. I cannot make fun of big noses on this channel. But he's got a little bit of a schnoz. So do I.
Starbucks to bring in a Bregman blend that led them to the playoffs. So I'm sure the Boston fans don't want this to be just a cup of coffee. And no one wants a Brexit.
So the big thing for me is that this, please, if you are a fan and you are listening to this, do not pay attention to anything this guy says. I mean, if you're taking anything in this seriously, you know what I mean? Like this is all for kicks. The fact that he sets up, like he's the only agent in baseball that gets his own backdrop. He sets it up himself, or I guess he has like his assistants or whatever do it, but he sets this up himself and then gets up onto quite literally an egg crate and then does this. But here's my biggest gripe with this entire thing. Honestly, pretty impressive. He kept the like coffee Dunkin' Donuts type analogies going through the entire thing, but he ends it with a Brexit joke. Like, buddy, you got to learn to deliver a punchline here.
Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
And no one wants a Brexit.
No one wants a Brexit. That's how he ends this, right? What? We did see today. I don't know who posted it. Was it EEI? Was it EEI that posted it? Maybe it was. Celtics, Brady, Kelsey. Hold on. There it is. So Rob Bradford on WEI, and honestly, I don't know what the copyright is on this, but I also wanted to play this clip as well because it's starting to feel like the tides are shifting a little bit where, coming into the offseason, it was a lot of, it feels almost like a not a guarantee, but a high likelihood that Alex Bregman will be back in a Red Sox uniform next year, right? It felt like the Red Sox were pretty heavily hell-bent on making sure that he's here. Now we've got Rob Bradford, who, again, it's just one person, right? And this is just an opinion piece. But now we've got him saying he doesn't think there's that big of a chance. In fact, here's what he says.
All right, as of November 12th, what do you think is going to happen with Alex Bregman?
I think there's not a great chance, less than 50% chance that I think he comes back.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he's going to find much more of a market than he did last year. And I think the Red Sox are probably going to play chicken with him like they did last year, which worked out for them. But now you're hearing teams like Philadelphia get in the mix, and without the qualifying offer attached, you have the comp of the Matt Chapman contract, so it's not like you can't get his 6-year deal. I mean, Matt Chapman got it at almost the exact same age. So I'm just a little wary that the Red Sox are going to play chicken like they did last year, and they're gonna, and then Bregman's going to say, well, you know what? I didn't have to rely on Detroit. I didn't have to rely on Kansas City. I can rely on Dave Dombrowski or another big market team. So.
Which is interesting to me. He brings up the qualifying offer, which yeah, obviously, right? I think that makes sense. I personally, if I'm Dave Dombrowski and I'm looking for a big contract, I don't know why. At the same time too, it's like, it's Dave Dombrowski, it's the Phillies. These guys love spending money, right? There's a high possibility that these guys spend money. Now, the problem with that is you've got Alec Boehm here, right? And I get that they want to shuffle up this lineup a bit. Now, he's a free agent after this season, so there's that as well. But, I don't know, dude. He was a decent player this year. It's not like he was great or anything. He was basically a replacement level player here. But if you're gonna spend, close to $200 million, wouldn't you prefer it to be on Kyle Schwarber or Pete Alonso becomes your full-time DH with Kyle Schwarber leaving? I just, to me, if you have Alec Boehm over there, he's a decent third baseman. I don't see why the Phillies would be such a huge player in this. Now, obviously, I know nothing, right? I know absolutely nothing, but yeah, I think it's you sit there and you're confident until you're not confident anymore. And this is what the offseason is, right? We're gonna have months, days, whatever on this channel where we're sitting here and we're making videos about the idea of the Red Sox not retaining Alex Bregman. Right? I think that's going to happen throughout the entirety of this offseason. We're gonna have days and weeks on this channel where we're making videos about the Red Sox retaining Alex Bregman with Scott Boras as his agent. Every team that has the capacity to steal him from the Red Sox is going to be involved in this at some point. Whether it's preliminary talks, whether it's legitimate conversations, somebody somewhere is going to be interested in Bregman that's not the Boston Red Sox, and it's never going to feel like it. Right? It's never going to feel like the Red Sox are in on Alex Bregman until either they sign him or he leaves somewhere in the future. So I don't really know what to make of all of this information. I personally sit here and it's like, it's all just information, right? You're still gathering facts. We don't know right? He's saying he thinks the Red Sox are going to play chicken again with Bregman this year. What if they don't? What if they just sit here and they say, look, man, we liked what you did last year. We're just going to have you do it again this year for the next 5 years, whatever it is. And Bregman's like, look, man, I like being here. I'm just going to sign him for the rest of the year, or I'm just going to sign here for the rest of my career. Right? I just, to me, I sit here and there's just so many different variables that I'm not going to get hung up on one person saying that. I'm certainly not going to get hung up on anything Scott Boras is saying, because to be honest with you, that guy is just out here. Personally, dude, Scott Boras, 1,000% sat here with this, and he practiced this in the mirror for months.
A lot about Bregman,
right? He sat here and wrote out all these puns. Maybe he's got a professional pun maker. I don't know. But all I know is that we cannot get hung up on these specific things. So feels like the tides are turning a little bit with Bregman, but there are certainly going to be more tides coming in. Will the Red Sox make the playoffs next year? I think there's more than likely a chance that, yes, they are going to make the playoffs, but it also depends on the moves they make this offseason. Giving you an answer now could be completely different by the end of the year. And the second thing I wanted to talk about, so already, we're 18 minutes into this live stream, and we've got, what are the chances we trade Duran? Duran for Ryan. Twins want Rafaela. Let's do it. Rafaela shouldn't be going anywhere, right? The conversation about trading away an outfielder. And there was some big news, in my opinion, about this during the winter meetings this year, or during the GM meetings this year, that I think is pretty prominent when it comes to whether or not they're going to trade somebody. When can we see some deals done? I would say the first, are you talking like major league contracts in general? Or are you talking like big names? Right? Like, what is sort of your barrier here for deals done? Let's talk about Tatis. Sure, I'll talk about Tatis. It's not going to happen. As much as I sit here and I would give up anything short of Roman Anthony and Garrett Crochet, anything short of those two, to get Tatis to the Boston Red Sox, it's not going to happen. The Padres are just not going to trade him, right? They would have traded him last year. They would have traded him the year before that. We've heard these rumors for years. The only validity that there is between the Red Sox and the Padres is that the Padres want Jarren Duran, but they have less control over Duran. He's older than Tatis. And if we're being fair, skill ceiling wise, I understand Duran ran up with them 2024, but over their entire careers, Tatis is constantly in where Duran's ceiling was, right? So for me, there's no reason why the Padres would shift him for Duran. There's no way. Nightingale said the Padres need to solve some guys. Brother, Nightingale, I'm pretty sure there was already a statement that they're not trading Tatis. Yes, this is Nightingale saying that he's the most likely to get traded. Let's see what the Friars are saying. I mean, he's not wrong, right? They're not there, but movable and likely are not synonyms. On the field, Tatis, a two-way force. Trading that kind of player doesn't simply create cap space, it creates a credibility problem. You don't swap out a pillar without replacing both the production and reason fans believe the window is still open. Like, to me, there are other ways to do that, right? You're not big on Tatis. What part of Tatis? What part of Tatis are we not big on here, Christopher? Like, what part? What am I missing something? I might be missing something here. I mean, he's playing in one of the worst home run hitting ballparks in the country, constantly putting up at least 20 home runs. Yeah. But he's a stolen base machine. gets on base, hits for doubles, hits for power, hits in general. Platinum glove defender, one of the best defensive outfielders in the entire sport. Am I missing something? Got suspended for PEDs one time for a cream. He wasn't injecting anything into his body. He had a cream. It's just to me, I don't know, man. I just again, if he's available, again, he's only 26. He hasn't even hit his prime yet. And he's putting up numbers like this. Yeah, he's the full package. You're absolutely right. Full package. 100%. Like, if we're sitting here saying, I don't want him, he is underperforming his contract. But he made how much? $20 million last year? But he made $20 million last year. Had what? A 5-WAR season? A 6-WAR season. Was an all-star. Won a gold glove. Won a platinum glove. Where is he not living up to his contract? So let's think about this, right? So he graduates from rookie status here. And he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be his last year before arbitration, hypothetically. Technically, with Super 2s, this could be his year of free agency. He would be getting a $400, $500 million deal. I think easy. And he's getting paid $340 million. This is where you're weighting the contract here, where you're paying him $36 million from 30 to 35. But right now, no, dude. He is well above performing it. Well above performing it. But it's just not gonna happen. I tweeted it out. When I saw this, I tweeted it out. If Tatis ends up being traded to the Boston Red Sox, I will dye my hair Fenway green. I'll dye it Fenway green. Because it's just, they are not gonna let go of him. They're just not. As much fun as it would be. As much fun as it would be. And let's be honest here. Who are the Yankees trading? Who would the Yankees have to trade to get Tatis in a Yankee uniform? Like, be honest. Did they also hire a new manager? Yeah. Thoughts on signing Tatsuya Ime? Fenway Green can't wait. Yeah, you know what? Now that I've said that, they're 1,000% going to trade for him, aren't they? like that's what's going to happen, is it not? God, dude. I'm screwed. I shouldn't have said anything, but it's just like there's just no way. I mean, this happened in 2025, dude. Going into 2025. Like, we made a video about it. But I sit here. It just doesn't make any sense, man. But speaking of outfielders, the second thing I wanted to talk about in tonight's live stream here, this one right here. Observation from the GM meetings. Numerous teams have told me they're looking to add at least one everyday outfielder. If you are a GM with outfield depth this offseason to trade, if you are a GM with outfield depth, this is the offseason to trade from it. Interesting. Corbin, I see Paul Skeene wants to be a Yankee. Written by a Yankee beat reporter. Give me Passan saying, yeah, we think Tatis, or we think Skeens wants to be on the Yankees, dude. Or even just give me a Pittsburgh Pirates one. right? Like the local Yankee guy being like, hey, man, he probably wants to play in New York because one guy one time said he probably wants to play in New York. Listen. And even on top of that, if Paul Skeens wants to play for the Yankees still need to trade for him. And we take a look at the Yankees farm system. Pittsburgh would be idiots to trade Paul Skeens in this good of a career for whatever the hell the Yankees are offering up. Idiots. Not that they're the smartest baseball team of all time, but idiots, right? See, now I'm getting frustrated. Let's look at the Yankees tops. Anonymous supporter with a $100 Movember donation. Can we listen? I don't know if you're in here or not. I don't know if you want to be recognized, but can we get some claps in the chat? Please and thank you to the anonymous supporter that gifted $100 to the Movember cause. Absolutely incredible. Pirates are not the New York Jets. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I saw that a player confirms it. Dude, man, there's my dad calling whoever donated a rat. That's crazy. I don't think he meant to include that emote. Scuba one, yeah, I'm looking at that. Tariq Skubal has won his second Cy Young in a row. That's tough. I'm going to be interested to see where Garrett Crochet falls on this. Like, were there any first place votes for Crochet? I don't know. I live in New York. You should hear all the baseball nonsense going on in sports radio. Michael K is the only one. Yeah, dude, I just okay, yeah. Every Yankee fan wants to trade for Tatis or trade for Skeens. Who? Who are they trading for Skeens? George Lombard Jr.? I mean, maybe he's a decent player here, but my God. Spencer Jones has fallen from grace. This dude had a 235 average, a 748 OPS. This is the Herald. This is gonna be the centerpiece of a deal that gets Paul Skeens. Yeah, right. Elmer Rodriguez, shout out. Hey, we know that guy. He was a dog this year, bro. He's going to be a good pitcher. But we got Carlos Narvaez. Doesn't matter. And this bozo. Everyone puts in, oh, it's Spencer Jones. It's Spencer Jones. Huh? This guy's ranked 99th. Guy's ranked 99th. He had 200 strikeouts last year and 179 this year. What am I missing with this guy? I mean, it's unbelievable. The only way they get Skeens is if Skeen forced the trade. He'd need to do it with a machine gun, though. Yeah, this is baseball's so different than so many other sports. There is absolutely no power. Paul Skeens got nothing in here, dude. Nothing. What's he gonna say? I refuse to play? Okay, great. Then we don't have to pay you, right? What are we doing? You know what I mean? Anyways, I got distracted here. Where were we? Oh, this. Okay, John Morrissey. Not crazy in love with John Morrissey's reliability, but this is just simply what he's hearing, right? Numerous teams have told me they're looking to add at least one everyday outfielder. If you are a GM with outfield depth, this is the season to trade from it. Do we know a team, ladies and gentlemen? That has outfield depth that they'd be willing to trade from, right? Maybe this is why Breslow didn't utilize any of his outfield depth. You know, we all kind of thought there would be a trade with an outfielder this last offseason. Maybe this is why. You know what I mean? Definitely not the Red Sox. Never heard of them, man. Michael King's a free agent. Green hair Red Sox. This is what's interesting to me, right? Because we talked about the deadline. Are they going to trade? Are they going to trade an outfielder? We talked about it in the offseason. Are they going to make a trade to open up room for Roman Anthony? They didn't, right? And it ended up working out for him. But was it because Breslow sat there and he said, "Look, I'm gonna save this because I know teams are going to be looking for outfielders this season." I mean, you go to the free agency list, right? There's obviously, you're leading it with Kyle Tucker in the outfield, who's a dog, but he's gonna be what, like $400 million, right? Bellinger, who's solid. Schwarber is not an outfielder, right? He's a DH. Naylor, I have no idea why they put him in the outfield. He's a first baseman, right? But outside of that, like, this isn't crazy good. You've got. Oops, I clicked on Josh Naylor. Hold on. How do I get my mouse back? There we go. Okay. Like it gets weak really, really fast, right? If you lose out on Bellinger, if you lose out on Tucker, you essentially lose out on the market, especially if you're looking for an everyday outfielder. All of a sudden, sorry, Chad, we should cover this while it's hot. So, Crochet has officially finished second in Cy Young. Boston's Garrett Crochet, let's go. There were 4 first place votes for Crochet, so that's cool. Chapman finished 7th. That's cool. What's up, Steven? How soon do you see Alex Bregman re-signing with the Sox and Pete Alonso signing with the Sox? It's not going to be anytime soon. Is there a chance getting Michael King and Joe Ryan, including a power bat in free agency? I mean, there's a chance, right? I think they only get one pitcher. I don't think they get 2 pitchers. I think it's one legitimate number 2, because you have to remember that there is going to be a ton there. They have to give these guys room to grow in the back end of this rotation. You have to, right? Or else you're just simply wasting talent. If you get, and yes, I get it, there's injuries all the time to starting pitchers. I understand that. But you have, and Breslow said this himself, right? You have all of this really, really great, why am I still wearing headphones? You have all of this really great sort of depth. You've got Fitz, you've got Criswell, you're going to have Paredes at some point, probably Witherspoon at some point, Harrison, Dobbins, right? But these guys aren't front of the rotation guys. But you know who could be is a guy like Early, a guy like Tolley. I still Luis Paredes, I still think he's going to be a dog. Kyson Witherspoon, a ton of potential, right? Brandon Neely hasn't even seen a ton of time yet. You've got a guy like Conrad Kaysen who's starting for the first time this year, right? So all of a sudden, you understand that you've got all this depth. You need to give them room to be able to grow these kids who could become your number 2, your number 3s in the future, right? Breslow made a point. I don't want to keep trading for or signing a top-line starting pitcher season in and season out. And he's kind of right? But how do you negate that? You either sign these guys to long-term deals or you develop it from within. And I think you could do both. I might be the only one, but I'd rather keep a Duran than Abreu. I like Duran. He's an old-fashioned, hard-nosed baseball player that plays with passion. Those guys are hard to find. So Abreu doesn't play with passion. So Rafaela doesn't play with passion. Like that argument drives me crazy a little bit. What do you mean they don't play with passion? Like, if anything, they all play with an equal amount of passion, I would say, especially the outfielders. I would say Cedon and Willie are just as emotional as Duran, but they're better defensive players. Got weak when I saw Kepler. Yeah. What about Ime? What are the chances? I would say if they're gonna sign any starting pitcher, Jay, that guy to me is at the top of the list. He's 27. He had a really great. Let me see if I can. Like he was a bit of a dog over there in the Japanese NPB. I do worry a little bit about the one, not a ton of strikeouts. He's not a huge strikeout guy, right? He's had years where he's been really good with the strikeouts. But for the most part, not a crazy high strikeout guy, and that'll drop a little bit as he gets to Major League Baseball. I am curious to see. Do you guys know if there's like a scouting website that I can go to look at him? Yeah, the whole you can't trade the Randy plays with passion thing does drive me a little bit crazy because it's very clear that all of these guys. The Mets, yeah, the Mets are a big one, I think, in the MA sweepstakes. I also think the Yankees are gonna be pretty big. I mean, the Yankees fill out this rotation. All of a sudden, it's Cole, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler, and MA. They got dude. Jesus. So if you have to sign this guy, just take him away from the Yankees, please do. But you look at what he did this season before coming to the Major League Baseball. Like this was his best year yet, right? It was a sub-2 ERA in 163 innings, which is about a full season over there. A little bit less, but about a full season. It was a sub-1 WHIP, which is huge, right? 9.8 strikeouts per nine, just 2.5 walks per nine. The only thing that I want to know is what's his velocity look like, right? Because if the velocity is low, I get worried about the Japanese pitchers with low velocity and coming over to we'll do our old friend's Bleacher Report here. Let's see if it has. So he's going to be posted. So by the way, he's going to be posted in a couple of, I think in like few days. It's the 19th, I think he gets posted. So it's going to be pretty close here. Has steadily improved as a strikeout and innings eater over the last 3 years. Has the stuff to be a good mid-rotation starter. So that's where I'm kind of worried about. So it's a fastball that can reach 99 miles an hour. There are a lot of passes for a Mays game that need refinements. So multiple scouts expressed some concern about his relaxed demeanor, theorizing he may need to throttle up to be at his best, and all the usual caveats, using a different ball, performing in a different environment, impossible pitch, arsenal changes, sure. Right. Mid-rotation starter is not bad. I don't know if that's what we want. I don't know if as an organization, the Red Sox should be going for mid-rotation starters. Now, I mean, Breslow himself said, hey, look, I want a top-of-the-rotation type guy. Right, I want somebody to be right behind Garrett Crochet that can make playoff starts. If they're confident that this is a guy that can, go out there and make starts in a playoffs game, then I'm good with it. Right, I'm good with it. I don't think Abreu is going to be as good as you think. He's going to be, let's put a pin in that. He is not the next Dwight Evans. Brother, no one's sitting here, Christopher, no one's sitting here saying that Willie Abreu is going to be Dwight Evans. I'm just saying you said that Duran plays with heart, and that's why you want to keep him. My argument to that is I don't understand why you're saying that, but it makes it sound like no one else in this outfield plays with heart. There's an argument to be made for every single person on this in this outfield to stay here. There is, right? You could to start debating who the Red Sox should trade out of this outfield is just simply a matter of opinion, right? Do you like Duran, or do you want them to trade somebody else? That's really the answer, right? Do you like Duran, or would you like the Red Sox to keep with the better defense and younger players? That's it. Right? That's it. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say logically, you look at the entire situation as a whole here. You look at age, you look at price, you look at years left on the contract, years left under arbitration. You look at the biggest pain points for the Red Sox this last season, right? If you had to trade one of them, and again, let's go back to what sparked this debate, I guess, would be this, right? Right now, it feels like everyone is looking for an outfielder, which means prices for outfielders are higher than they have been in a very long time. Trade Massa and not re-sign Rob, brother, that is going to net you nothing. Duran has 2 years left on his 2 years or 3 years? 2 years, I think. Bingo, Brent. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Bingo. That's the answer right here, and that's what I'm going to tell everyone who asks, right? The Red Sox are going to most likely trade an outfielder. It feels like the only way they're going to accomplish everything they want to accomplish this offseason. It is, right? Unless they're willing to throw $350+ million contracts out there, it absolutely has to be. Don't think you trade whoever brings in the best return. Christopher, it's not who brings you the best return, it's who's going to get you what you want, right? The difference in saying that and saying get you what you want is this. Saying whatever one gets you the best return would in my opinion, is essentially saying, look, they're going to put all three onto the market, right? Whoever offers the best for one of these players, that's the one that they are going to take. That's not how it's going to work. I don't think the Red Sox are going to go out there and openly shop Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, and say Don Rafael, and then compare and contrast. Right, what they're going to do is they're going to target a pitcher. They're going to target a whatever it is. Right, my guess is it's a number 2 pitcher. They're going to target that guy. They're going to give them the package, and they're going to see. Right, if it's whoever they think is going to be traded first, that's who they are going to try and trade. Right, whether they think it's Wilyer, whether they think it's Duran, whoever. They are going to come at this, and they're going to put them on the table. Now, if the team likes the package, let's just hypothetically put Joe Ryan on the table, right? And the Red Sox offer Duran, Brandon Clark, or just Instant Garcia. I don't know if that's a package. I don't know if that's the package that gets it done. I have no idea. This is all hypothetical, right? But the Twins come back to him and say, look, Duran has had better success in Major League Baseball, but we're 2-3 years from being a legitimately competitive team. We want the guy with 4 or 5 years of control. Give me Wilyer Abreu. Give me, say, Don Rafaela. Right? I don't think the Red Sox totally negate all that they put together for this just because they want to keep Wilyer or say Don. It's vice versa, right? If the Twins are offered Wilyer Abreu and they say, well, wait a second, as much as we love Wilyer Abreu, we want the guy who's going to impact, at the most, this roster right now, and that's going to be Duran. I don't think the Red Sox are going to sit there and they're going to say, no, it's not going to happen. Aaron Nola is not going anywhere from the Phillies, I don't think. I honestly don't know if I'd want Aaron Nola. Especially not for Duran. I would want someone a little bit younger. Yeah, he was injured this year. I mean, he's a solid pitcher, but I don't know. I don't know that I would do. I mean, Ranger Suarez, obviously, right? He's going to come in second in Cy Young voting, I think. Oh, no, not Ranger Suarez. Who was I thinking? Who's the guy in the Phillies rotation that had a really good year? What's up, Shane? How you doing, Ethan? For me, I prefer the defensive power, which Wilyer has. Duran has no defense, so for me, it's an easy decision. Yeah, again, it's just personal, right? To me, I think it's ultimately going to come down to Christopher Sanchez. Thank you. Christopher Sanchez was who I was thinking. Christopher Sanchez was exactly who I was thinking of. Thank you. I got those mixed up. Sorry, Christopher. That sucks, Ethan. Yeah, I was sick for a long time. I actually couldn't stop coughing last week, so this is a little bit of a better live stream. This could be unrealistic, but if they land Tatsuya, Pete Alonso, and Kuzma/Schwarber, would you say that it was a good offseason? No, they aren't, Christopher. They absolutely aren't. The Rangers will not give up Christopher Sanchez. But that was when you said Suarez, that's who I was picturing in my head. That's why I'm saying I'm sorry. I misevaluated your idea because I misunderstood the conversation here. Anyways, Jay, going back to your conversation here. Would I think that this was a good offseason? Yeah, I would say it was a good offseason. I would also say that, I mean, if you got Ime and then Alonso and Schwarber, I would say it's really great. All right, Ethan, have a good one. I get a little bit worried, like Kuzma, fantastic. I'd love to get Kuzma, right? Ime on their own, fantastic. I'd love to get him. You get both those guys. I'm a little bit worried about both of them having to make a transition and be an integral part of this team immediately, right? If you just get Kuzma and then you sign Alonso, and all of a sudden your third baseman's Kuzma and your first baseman's Alonso, and then let's say you trade for Joe Ryan, right? Now all of a sudden you've got two guys that you know are going to be able to perform, and you've got Kuzma who, if he does what he's supposed to do or can do, now you've got an elite level team, right? Instead of relying on both Ime and Kuzma to make that transition seamless right off the bat, because if they aren't, you've got a big problem. I think that's the problem. Yeah, Christopher, it is debating off-season stuff is so fun to me. You like the stash? Thank you, man. What's up, man? Low-key want Okamoto. Thoughts? I love Okamoto. I do. I love him. Play first base, third base. So if you lose Bregman, you can't, you got your backup right there. You also got first base if you want to. He can platoon DH in first base with Casas if you really want to go that route, right? If you're gonna trade Massa or whatever. Low strikeouts, handles velocity super well, proven, going to be a shorter deal, going to be less money. What's that cinema mean? You know what I'm talking about? I'm like 1,000 years old, Chad. The only thing, I'm so bad with like internet trend stuff, dude. I pay attention to baseball and I read comics in the offseason. I heard something today that supposedly Breslow said they are going to use free agency to acquire number 2. If that's the case, what are they using a trade for an outfielder for? I didn't see anything like that, Peter. So unless you can give me a link, I don't think. There's no way that Breslow's saying he's only going to get a starting pitcher via the free agency route and completely shut off an entire market. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to specify either way until the deal's actually done. Think we're going to lose Duran? Do you want my personal opinion, Ashley? I think it depends on what the other teams are looking for. I think it depends on what's going to be able to get them what they need. If I had to say an answer, yeah, I think it's Duran over. I think they're very, very high on Rafael. I think they're very, very high on Wilyer Abreu. But again, I think they're open to moving any three of those for the right guys. You bet Sandy's on the move? Yeah, I think he'll be on the move. But I don't know, dude. I would be a little bit PO'd. I can say pissed off. For those of you who don't like when I swear, and I don't swear very often, I could say pissed off. I would be pissed off if the Red Sox went with Sandy. How did he finish the year, dude? Hey, don't forget, the link just popped up, actually, Nightbot. While Nightbot is here, if you haven't yet donated, if we can get to $3,000 this month, I'll be giving away opening day tickets to Fenway Park opening day 2026 to someone who donates. If you want to help support a great cause, you don't want my mustache to be here anymore, whatever your reasoning is, make sure you guys use that donation link. Helps out a lot of people around the world. I mean, he was getting back to himself, man. September, October. So there's definitely something to be said there a bit. I just worry about this, man. I really do worry about this. The only time I heard you lose it was when they traded Rafi. I still think I'm vindicated in that, to be honest with you. I think Rafi's on this team. I think they still make the wild card, and I think they might win the wild card. Just saying. I was listening to Rob Bradford interview today. He thinks the Sox should go after Bichette. He'd be perfect for them. Not at short, but at third or second. I did see a rumor that he's open at third or second. Listen, like as much as I love Bregman and as much as I do want Bregman back, what was does anyone know what Bichette's problem is defensively? Like, do we know? Like he's not a good defender, right? He's not a good defender. What's up, Kevin? Like he was the worst defensive player, shortstop / player in baseball this season. Like his range is just terrible. It's his throwing arm, supposedly. No, there's not a ton, Brent. They're gonna have to be strategic. Just popped up. Breaking full-scale war. Red Sox plot 240-minute Steven, that is clickbait if I've ever seen it. Do not believe that. Yeah, Menez was definitely better defensively, but my curiosity, right, is what was his bit? Was it really his arm, or was it range? Because if it's range, he could be a decent third baseman. He definitely could be a good second baseman if he's open to it. As much as I love Bregman, Bichette is what, 26? How old is he? He's going to be 27. So he's going to be 28. So he's 5 years younger. I mean, he's never going to be like a top of the lineup type guy. Like he's not going to be a guy who's going to hit 40 bombs. But dude, you know, you can lead the league in hits. You're a tough guy to strike out. Like this in addition to Pete Alonso or Kyle Schwarber, that's a lot more offense than he had last year, and I love him, but no team's offering him a contract for third. What are good sites to look for Red Sox content on Facebook? Does anyone have an answer? Is there any good Facebook, like, non-fake news? Jared Duran guy, but this year seems like it's going to be just a colossal year for him. It might be a bad year to move him. How do you feel about this? If you're a fan, it makes sense, man. It makes sense why you'd say that. Do I listen to Lou Merloni? Yeah, I do. He thinks because of his lack of bats and because of injuries, what the team's going to trade him. The team's looking to trade him. I think it'd be stupid to trade Marcel Meyer. I think it'd be really, really, really dumb to trade Marcel Meyer. I could see it happening. I could see them moving him for a pitcher, but you have so many outfielders. So many. Franklin Arias is still, I would say, at least a year, year and a half away. So if something doesn't go right with Story, you don't even have a backup shortstop. I mean, Sogard can handle it, but Sogard isn't a guy, you know what I mean? Like with Story's injury history, you can't sit there and be like, okay, Story had a full season this year. We don't need any other shortstops, right? I just like, what are we going to do at second base? Sign Bichette? Okay, maybe, but then what do you do at third? Right? Like to me, I just like it doesn't make sense. We already have infielders though. Mike Romero's still around. I love Mike Romero. Don't get me wrong. Huge Mike Romero fan. Maybe the biggest Mike Romero fan. Absolute dog. He's more of a second baseman. I mean, he made that switch full time when he went to Worcester. I don't think he's going to be playing much shortstop at the big league level. I think he will be an everyday big leaguer. I think he will be, but Bichette has there's not really a lot of Steven, I would stick with those guys and just sort of ignore everything else. Yeah, I like the problem is you look at a lot of these players. The only real like free agent, like especially on the hitting side of things. Let's go back to the hitting side of things here. The only true free agents without like legitimate injury histories here, it's kind of like it's Pete Alonso, right? Pete Alonso hasn't had a huge injury history. JT Realmuto, I mean, he's just getting older. And that's kind of it. Right? I like everyone else has a legitimate, maybe Luis Arise, but I don't really want Luis Arise on this team. Naylor has an injury history. Like, it's just part of the game now, dude, I think. Like, it's just about having, I mean, yeah, dude, 120, 121, 152, 147. Like, he's playing over 100 games a year, but, like, yeah, so we're going to get to Devin Williams in a second here. What have I been doing lately? Same thing I do every offseason. Read comic books. I've been working out a little bit more. Like, during the season, I work out for about 40 minutes. All I do is, this just sounds so dumb. I speed walk, right? My goal, I started, like, midway through the season really taking care of myself. And my goal is to get down to a certain weight and then start to tone out a bit. In order to do that, I've been speed walking. So I was walking like, I don't know, 3.5 miles in 45 minutes. And then recently I've been doing 60 minutes and I've been doing like 4.2 miles. You think they're re-signing Bregman? I still think it's a 50-50 shot. Oh, Steven will have to celebrate. Raise incline. Yeah, so I've been walking on an incline for a couple of months now. I finally got a treadmill that can allow me to do that. Are we interested in Devin Williams? Yeah. So let's get to our third topic of the night. Then we can sort of, oh my God, it's already been an hour. Chat, we've gotten distracted. So the Red Sox are one of 12 teams to express interest in reliever Devin Williams. Like, the express interest thing, it drives people crazy. But if you are a competent baseball team, you have to be able to check in. That sentence maybe didn't make sense. You should be checking in on everybody, is my point. Right? Yes, Devin Williams was terrible this season, but he has a long history of being one of the best relievers in Major League Baseball. Right? So, yes, you have to do your due diligence to check in on him. Personally, I think the price tag is going to be too high for the Red Sox to even bother, right? I think they have bigger issues to fix. Like this would be a great guy to bring in if you can get him on like a 1-year deal with a team option for a second year or whatever. Cool, I'm down with that. But if it's gonna be like a 4-year deal, I don't know. He's making probably like $17 million a season. I'm okay with that. I'm good on that. Exactly, Mighty. So people are going to be like, oh, like this. Juan is a perfect example of this. Interest kings are back. All they do is express interest. They never sign anybody. It's like, well, yeah, every team in Major League Baseball is going to be linked. How many different, I mean, Red Sox Twitter's different a little bit. There are a lot more people talking about Red Sox baseball than there are a lot of other teams. But there were 12 other teams that expressed interest here. How many different times do you think this exact tweet has been tweeted out tonight with all the teams in Major League Baseball, right? And how many teams are going to actually end up with Devin Williams? There's only one, right? So 11 other teams are now the kings of interest as well. This is just simply the Red Sox doing their due diligence. $5 super chat from Snowman. Thank you so much, Snowman. Will the Red Sox keep Connor Wong or will they bring up someone from the minors? Well, they won't bring up someone from the minors. There's quite literally nobody down there. Can we get some likes to that message? I appreciate you being here, my friends. Yeah, there is quite literally nobody in the minors here. This will give you an idea. Minor leaguers you should know. These are the two, right? It's just like it's nothing. So it won't be someone from the minors. Breslow did say in a presser, it was the GM meetings actually, that he believes in Connor Wong. I don't totally disagree. I think Connor Wong has the potential to be a legitimate solid backup catcher. So I don't hate this. I don't hate them. Like to me the catching position, as long as Wong can figure himself out defensively, let it ride. Right? Let it ride. Narvaez is your starting catcher going forward for the foreseeable future, in my opinion. You let the rest of it ride, and you know, if you can, great, upgrade it. But this shouldn't be a top priority, in my opinion, Snowman. But again, thank you for the $5. Yeah, that's true, Deegan. Corbin, how many teams have interest into every free agent? I hear a lot. Yeah, it's if you are a big market team, you are having interest in quite literally every single. You should be calling in on almost at least most of the free agents here. By the way, Paul Skeens did just win his Cy Young Award. I mean, duh, right? 1.97 ERA, almost a 7-WAR season. He almost threw 200 innings, 216 Ks. Please, for the love of God, do not tell me this guy's a future Yankee. Please. You're mad when they trade Kyle Teal? Brother, we got Garrett Crochet, who just finished second in Cy Young voting. As much as I love Kyle Teal, I don't miss him. I don't. Connor Wong's the best backup catcher in baseball? Hell yeah. Yeah, I agree, Christopher. Like Wong to me, I think is destined to be exactly what he was like in 24. Or 24 was kind of an outlier, sorry. Man, chap. Look at this starting lineup. If Roman Anthony is the 239th overall player in Major League Baseball, it's insane. Say Don is higher than Roman Anthony? Brother, what? What? Man, they have Marcelo Meyer having a terrible season. My God. Only one player they're predicting is above an 800 OPS. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to stick a bat like right here, realistically. And it would be lovely to stick another one like right here. That'd be great. You still hacking? Oh yeah, dude. Oh, it's not as bad as it was. It's much better. I mean, dude, last week I could barely breathe. Remember that? By the time the Yankees get Skeens, Judge will be 40. True. Are we favorites now for Schwarber over Alonso now? I thought it was Pete with the most interest for us. It sounds like, Michael, at least from the GM meetings. And again, the big thing with the offseason is that things change really, really fast, right? Like you could 1 week to this week, perfect example today. It feels like the Red Sox are all in on Kyle Schwarber. They want him real bad. Next week, it could be the Red Sox wanting Pete Alonso or Kazuma or whoever, right? Has Kazuma officially been posted, by the way, chat? I know Murakami, it's either one of them. One of them has, right? Okamoto or Murakami, which one of them has been posted? You know what, chat? I don't know why I'm asking you when I could just do this. No, it was Murakami, right? Yeah. Murakami's been posted. Yeah, if you know what I mean, like if Okamoto gets posted and all of a sudden the Red Sox are all in on that guy, it could shift immediately. So Right now, yeah, Michael, I would say they are. It sounds like they're one of, if not the favorites to land Kyle Schwarber, but it's early on, man. It's early on. It's exciting stuff to talk about, and I'm excited about it. But rumors are like salt in the ocean. I mean, yeah, it's that's how it's always gonna be. We need power hitters plus what we have. Yep, that's true. Schwarber's definitely going back to the Phillies. They will riot in Philadelphia. I don't know, dude. I don't know. What's up, video game? Would they riot if the Phillies ended up with, like, let's say we just clean swap. They get Bregman, we get Schwarber. I don't know that Phillies fans would be like burn this place to the ground. I mean, these guys have so many contracts, dude. It's tough to sit there and be like, yeah, they have to get this guy back. I don't think they do, especially because of the fact that they've had this powerhouse team and not been able to do anything in the playoffs with it. Schwarber's had some big moments in the playoffs for Philly, but they need to restructure a bit. You know? Like, they have to. They cannot sit here and keep running back the same team, just shuffling the relievers a bit and expecting them to do better in the postseason. You want an offseason of Schwarber, Joe Ryan, and Alex Bregman? To me, that would be a fantastic offseason. Throw in like a lower level, mid to high leverage lefty. I'm in. For the bullpen, yep. Boras is Schwarber a Boras guy? I don't think Schwarber's a Boras guy. Does this tell me? Excel Sports Owners. Nope. He is not a Boras guy. But they got there 5 years in a row. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, Christopher. But you have to win once you get there. You know what I mean? Their core is still young enough. Who's the core of that team right now? Harper? Turner? Is that it? It's Harper and Turner? How did Bryson Stott do this year? He was solid. He was all right. Bohm? Yeah, I don't know that Bohm would be in consideration for that, but Adam Baum? Who? Oh, Bohm. I don't know, dude. I like to me, if I'm Dave Dombrowski, I'm sitting there like we got to change something up. We got to get a different star in here or something. This offseason as the Boston Red Sox, I agree. And again, I think they should hold. I think they should spend at least $300 million between two bats. I think they kind of have to, right? Or give me $300 million between a starter, a bat, and then trade for another bat. You have to do something. Yeah, but I don't know that I put Bohm in the same. I wouldn't say Bohm is a core piece of the Philadelphia Phillies. I haven't yet, Yeet. My plan was to watch it tonight. Is it good? Listen, Robbie is a fantastic YouTuber, a really, really great guy. So I can only imagine the Sam Kennedy interview is super interesting. But what are we taking away from it, Yeet? Who was I looking up? Oh, Brandon Marsh can't be. Oh, he was good this year. All right, he was good this year. Not a great defender, though, huh? I mean, 1.7 WAR leads me to believe he wasn't a very good defender. Or good. I'm not saying, Christopher, you're arguing something that's not being argued right now. I'm not saying that the Phillies are a bad organization. I'm just saying, I think if I'm Dave Dombrowski, I'm sitting there saying, is there something we can change up? If we swap out a Kyle Schwarber for a Pete Alonso, is that going to bring us to that level that we have not been able to attain yet? If we get rid of Nick Castellanos and we sign a, you know what I mean? It seems to be very vague. Yeah, that's correct. That's Sam Kennedy's job. How many moves do I see the Red Sox making this offseason? Personally, I think it'll be 3 moves. I think it'll be Bregman or someone to replace Bregman. I think it'll be another power bat, and then I think it'll be a starting pitcher. Actually, let me rephrase that. In terms of headline Jeff Passan tweeting news, I think they're going to do 3. Now, in terms of overall moves, I think they get another bullpen arm. And I do think we see some more catching depth signed. I don't know if it'll be major or minor league deals, but Castellanos is gone. Yeah, dude, that guy is going to be traded so fast. It's going to be unbelievable. I would be shocked if Castellanos was on the Philadelphia Phillies. You know where I could see Castellanos going? The Yankees. I don't know what the hell they do with him, but that feels like, doesn't he just feel like a Yankees guy? Do you guys see Alex Cora came in 4th in AL Manager of the Year award? There were what, 15 teams in the AL? Alex Cora, according to his peers, is better than 11 of those guys. Yet Red Sox fans want this dude out so bad. The Phillies did try and trade him last offseason, so maybe not. Yeah, but this offseason I think it'll be a bit better for again, we go to this, right? This has been the one thing that stood out to me. So John Schneider got mega snubbed. Yeah, I actually agree. I don't think the Blue Jays were predicted to be that good this year. I don't disagree at all. Who did end up winning for the American League? This is gonna be a dumb question. I don't have MLB Network. Guardians, I guess, you know what, if we're splitting hairs here, was it Vogue? It was Vogue again? Damn. He's at fault for everything under the sun. Yeah. True. I forgot about that. War Pig 2, yeah, came in 2nd. Just saw Ranger Suarez is predicted to sign a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. Let him have it. He is going to the winter meetings. Man, good for him, man. Him signing, Robbie Hyde signing with the foul territory guys. He's getting so much cool access to stuff. You know, like he's getting so many cool, like he was down at spring training. That was before foul territory though. But he's down at spring training this last year. Now he's going to the winter meetings. That'll be cool. I'm happy for him. Who do the Red Sox protect in the Rule 5 draft? Let me see exactly who I'll tell you. Let me pull up the list. We'll probably make a video about this as we get closer to it, to be honest with you. Isn't there usually a Rule 5 like thing on here? Am I losing my mind? Where is it, chat? Oh, there it is. All right, of this list, who am I protecting? Man, there are some names here that I would protect. Do Blaze, you kind of have to. Can you protect Blaze and then trade him after the Rule 5 draft? Maybe. I think this is a major name to watch in trade rumors. Alan Castro, did he have a good year? So the prospect that the Red Sox 100% do is David Sandlin. I think they really, really believe in his fastball and him being a we hear that, chat? My upstairs neighbor's got it's like a 2016 Charger. Hellcat though. It's nice. Or I think it's a Challenger actually. No, it's definitely a Charger. I think okay, so I think it's definitely David Sandlin. And then I think potentially it's Miguel Blaze. unless they figure out a way to trade him beforehand. Uberstein, How'd Yordani do this year, by the way? I love Yordani. How many protections do they have? I mean, they can protect as many people as they want. The problem is, in order to protect... So, for those of you guys who don't know, and you guys are totally lost as to what I'm talking about here, Rule 5 draft takes place in December. Basically, if you're old enough and you've been in an organization long enough, they let you be drafted by another team, and the other team has to put you on the major league club. Okay? So what the Red Sox can do in order to avoid that is they could put them on their 40-man roster. So there's the big catch there. They have to be on the 40-man roster until at least past the Rule 5 draft. Which means for the Red Sox, they're going to have to DFA somebody. Or multiple somebodies to get that to happen. Thank you, Mighty Boston, for the exact clarification. So yeah, 23 or 5 years in minor league baseball, this is how you figure it out. Why not, Christopher? Because it's taking up a roster space for guys who are potentially, I think, much better. And Red Sox fans are going to want Mikey Yastrzemski because of the name. I don't want Mikey Yastrzemski. Anyways, yeah, so to me, I think it's David Sandlin. Uberstein's a really interesting one. Really, really interesting. You got to remember, whoever drafts them has to keep them on the 26-man roster or the IL for a majority of the season. The second they let go of them, they come back to the Boston Red Sox. So they take the chance on that. I don't know. Definitively, I think it will be Dave. Now I'm talking myself into it being Miguel Blaze too. Definitively, I think it'll be David Sandlin. I think there's a high chance it's Miguel Blaze. And then I would say Tyler Uberstein's kind of a 50-50. I would pick is Shane Drohan someone we want to protect? No, personally, I don't think so. He's 26, 27, had some injury issues, walk rate a little bit. It's the entire season. Thank you. It is the entire season they need to be on the 26-man roster. Or the IL. Didn't we see that? We saw that with Shane Drohan, didn't we? Where he was on the IL for a while and they couldn't keep him on the 26-man. Like, in my opinion, there's not really a ton. Like, the Red Sox didn't... Forgive me if I'm misspeaking here. Someone will call me out on it. We're going to need some depth there and someone who's more than average. Not really, dude. You'll still have 4 outfielders. Plus, you could bring back Rob. Plus, you got Sogard, Justinson Garcia, and Christian Campbell, who we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Get ready for it. Tomorrow's video is about Christian Campbell. Where was I? Oh, I may misspeak here. But I don't believe the Red Sox took any Major League Rule 5 guys last year. Like, you have to be pretty confident. You have to be pretty confident that you're going to be able to use this guy on the 26-man, right? Like, how many teams are going to sit there and say that Miguel Blaze is going to be on the 26-man roster for the entirety of the 2026 season? I would say very, 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 very few. David Sandlin, on the other hand, an almost Major League ready reliever. Yeah, you could see them taking that, right? Tyler Uberstein. I could see a team biting on Tyler Uberstein. Who do we DFA? Red Sox 40-man roster. Any changes to the bullpen? I do think the Red Sox pick up a medium high level lefty. I don't know who that's going to be. There are 1,000 of them. It's very rare to take more than one per season. Probably about 15 plus won't take anyone. That's my point, right? So it's kind of rare that you get your players stolen. I'm DFAing Josh Winkowski. I'm putting David Sandlin on there, though. Personal opinion, I'm DFAing Jordan Hicks, but that's not going to happen. I think it will only be Sandlin. Let me see. What did... What did you do this year? He didn't have a great year, right? 222, 300 on base percentage, 385. Yeah. I'm not putting Miguel Blaze on here. Christopher. On your current roster, Roman Anthony, Cedar Rafaela, Willie Abreu, Nate. Let's just do this. Here you go. Cedar Rafaela, Jaron Moran, Roman Anthony, Willie Abreu, Nick Sogard can play the outfields. Christian Campbell is going to play the outfield next year. Nate Eaton can plays the outfield, right? So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially 7 before we even get to Justinson Garcia. They have until the winter meetings to protect them, so they could trade these guys by then. Yeah, no. I'm not saying the decision needs to be made now. Someone just asked me my opinion. What do I think about Kyle Harrison? I think this Rafael Devers trade is going to look a lot like the Mookie Betts trade in 5 years. Actually, in 2 years. Like, I think Kyle Harrison will be the one remaining piece that's here. But I think he ends up being, a depth starter, maybe a bullpen role. Right? Well, while Devers is over there making all-star games, you can't tell if I'm joking about Eaton. What Eaton isn't solid MLB outfield depth? That's absurd. Like that's gonna be your big takeaway from the Rafael Devers trade is Kyle Harrison, and he's gonna be I like him. I think he's a good, decent Major League Baseball player, decent. But he's not gonna be a 3. Well, he might. Maybe I'm wrong. But he feels more like a 6th or 7th starter type guy. He feels like a long reliever in the bullpen. You already got rid of Michael Tibbs, who, by the way, what was his name? I think it was Michael Tibbs, right? For Dustin May, who was terrible. And then you got what's his face? Hicks, who's going to be dog water. He just is dog water. I'm getting mad. I'm making myself mad for no reason. Ooh. Chat, we just got an interesting little article here. Chat. Red Sox receiving trade interest in outfielders, but holding a really high bar. Teams express interest in some of our players. I don't think that's surprising. And other teams recognize where we are. So we'll stay open-minded with those conversations. But again, we're going to hold a really high bar. Okay, well, I thought this was going to be rumors around the league. This is just what Craig Breslow. Of course, Craig Breslow is going to say. Like, imagine if Breslow was like, hey, brother, it is open season. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not going to happen. Yeah, fork found in the kitchen. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Both the Mookie trade and the Devers trades were salary dumps. Yes, that's correct. Does Tanner Houck come back strong? I still have faith that Tanner Houck could be a good pitcher. I don't know when he's actually coming back, so. You think that Jordan Hicks will be much better next year? I don't know, dude. I just don't have much faith, man. I really don't. Alex, what? No. I said that he's decent. I said that Nate Eaton was good depth for your major league team. How did that get construed to me saying I'd rather play Nate Eaton over Wilyer Abreu. Alex, do we understand what depth is? I think we need to establish that first. I'm sick of people complaining about what they got back in the deal like they got robbed. I mean, yeah, Gong said it the best there. There's your answer. It was an intentional, we'll take whoever you can give us so that we could dump this salary. But yes, Dubs. I mean Dubs. For a regular all-star and your biggest home run hitter, you got a potential number 3 starter, a bullpen reliever that does nothing, and Dustin May, essentially. Yes, I agree, Dubs. They did it the wrong way. But, I mean, that's not exactly cleaning house for the Red Sox, is it, either? I'm talking about if Duran or Abreu is traded. So if another starting outfielder gets hurt, are you actually saying you'll be fine with Eaton, Campbell, or Sogard? Yes. Yes. As depth, 100%. 100%. Not everybody, I feel like we always fall into this trap of everybody on the Boston Red Sox needs to be a potential superstar all-star. If Jarren Duran, I don't know, is out for a month, I'm perfectly fine with the Red Sox saying, hey, Eaton and Sogard, you guys are platooning left field for the next month. Perfectly fine with that. Duran's not getting traded. Anyway, bottom line, we need another really good pitcher. Our biggest issue? No, brother. Your biggest issue, Christopher, for being honest, is the lineup not having enough thump. But starting pitcher, you have to come away with one. You do have to come away with one. I personally, I think they're actually kind of equal, right? Like if you get the bats but you don't get the pitching, you're not gonna have the pitching. But if you get the pitching and you don't have the bats, it doesn't matter. And see where everything plays out, brother. No, I'm sick. I am sick and tired of us Red Sox fans saying, hey, man, let's keep adding little pieces and just see where everything else plays out. No, right? You won 89 games last year. 89 games. You have the potential with the young kids on your team, with the contracts you have signed, to win 95 easily games going forward. And that's competing for a division. That's trying to win a World Series. Why we would sit here and be like, hey, man, let's just get a starter and then see where everything else plays out in 26 and we'll try again in 27 is absurd to me. Dubs, listen, there was a lot of problems. You're right. Rafi handled the situation very, very poorly. But to sit here and say that he was the reason the Red Sox traded him and not egos on both sides, specifically egos with Breslow and more importantly, egos with this ownership is insane. Both sides of that handled that terribly. There was no winner. There was no loser in that situation. The Red Sox have Rafael Devers. They absolutely probably put up a better fight against the New York Yankees. And I still think to sit here and say that they wouldn't have made the postseason without Rafael Devers is absolutely insane. Like, if we're being honest, if they had just held on to him and tried to make it work through the entire year, listen, the reactions from the players in the clubhouse were that of what just happened, right? It wasn't so much thank God. There wasn't relief. So clearly it wasn't affecting the team as much as I think it was affecting the relationship between the team in the front office and the team in the ownership group. Yeah, that would have been fantastic, Christopher. You know? It was the excuse to save some money, let's be real here. I don't know that it was, and I'll stay on this. Like, I will stay on this. I think ultimately Henry being like, oh, they're going to take the whole salary, do it, right? That's what ended up happening. But I don't think this was we don't want the contract anymore. I think this was ownership got a little bit ego hurt. And I think Devers wasn't going to let up. And I think they realized that. And I think Devers realized that. And I think ultimately, like Versatilli kind of said here, I think it was Henry who was like, I don't want him on this baseball team. I just think that's the answer. I agree, Chiro. Sox should target a roster that can deliver 95 wins. Said another way, a team that can win the division. Yeah. I mean, but I'm just kind of preaching here a little bit, where you sit there and it's like, you know, my least favorite thing is this Sox fans mentality of let's just keep getting little pieces and see where it ends up. No, right? I'm sick of that. If you can get pieces this year without, I mean, you don't even have to sit here and blow up the bank for it. But if you could get pieces that put you from 90 wins or 89 wins to 95 wins, do it. Like, how many wins did the Blue Jays have this year? What was it, 92? No, we were further behind than that. 96? 94. You win 95 games, you win the division, right? Devin Williams, why? Because the Red Sox have been attached to him, sir. Who am I giving up to get Joe Ryan? Honestly, I give up a decent amount, dude. I don't know what the ultimate package looks like. Like I've said this 1,000 times. I think I'm gonna need. Which you were 6 games off of, by the way, versatility. You were 6 games off of being the best team in the American League. Think about that. Yeah, I sit here with the Joe Ryan in conversations, like trying to come up with trade packages. I need to see what the market looks like a little bit first. Like the deadline, it makes sense. The price was incredibly high. I think it'll be around the same, if not higher, during the offseason, but I just want to see. If Roman, yeah, dude, if you had Devers and Roman Anthony, you don't lose that series to New York. You just don't. The only reason you lost that series, especially because of that second game, was because of your offense. I mean, ultimately, right? Yes, Bayo didn't perform super well. Conley early did nothing. But you have one power bat in there. You have one certified stud in that lineup. It's over, dude. You win that game. How many times in the second game did they come up with runners in scoring position and do nothing? So many. One of those bats turns around, you're winning the series. But I hate doing that. The infield did screw him over. That's true. I hate sitting here and being like they would have won if. You know? I hate that because ultimately it didn't happen. And you need to be able to, as a baseball team, be able to cover all most of those. Town's ready for them again. Dude, this town embraced the Red Sox this season. How many sellouts in a row do they have? Like 15? That was the most time it happened in a very long time. Duran catches that ball? True. That was a big one for sure. Durant catch that ball. Eaton scores. I still think that would have been really close, but Eaton scores. You probably win that series. I don't know. I hate playing revisionist history. Yeah, exactly, Dubs. Exactly. And so I don't love doing it. Anyways, chat, we're going to call it here. We're trying to keep these off-season ones a little bit shorter than our regular season ones. I'm trying to be more concise with my content. I get a lot of this is too long, so I'm trying to be a bit more concise. So hopefully these are a bit better for you. Sometime either later this month or early next month, once free agency and trade markets really start to heat up, I do want to start doing voicemails or not voicemails. I want you guys to call in. That would be a ton of fun. So I'm trying to figure that out, but we'll see. Yeah, I agree, Christopher. Totally agree. Anyways, I appreciate you guys being here tonight. There's a billion different places you could have been. There's not a ton of news. It's starting to get a little bit more interesting. We're getting there, Chad. I promise. We're getting there. Baseball offseason is going to start heating up very, very soon. And when they do, you could bet your ass I'll be covering all of it right here on Red Sea Radio. I'll be back tomorrow talking about the future of Christian Campbell, which could be a ton of fun, or at least a good conversation to have this offseason. So it'll be an interesting one. But regardless, make sure you guys are donating to Movember. Link is in the description. It's been popping up in chat all night. If you want to help us get to our goal, if you want to raise money for a great cause, or if you want to win yourself potentially opening day tickets to 2026, donate. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red.